जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना।
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
यमुना तीरवनचारी कुंज विहारी।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshadharine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the life history of Ramanuja, third session, third part. I think I'll not be able to complete even today also. I thought I would complete today since a little more long. So I'll complete in the next session. So I will see the third session today, third part. So we have discussed in last session, Ramanuja went to Tirupati and stayed in Tirupati for 1 year. He studied Ramayana under the guidance of Shailapurna. After that, Ramanuja wanted to come back to Srirangam. So he went and told Shailapurna, my dear master, I want to take leave of you. I want to return to Srirangam. Shailapurna said, my dear Ramanuja, I was very happy that you have been with me. Now, whatever you have got in your mind, anything you want to ask me, you can ask me. If it is within my power, I will provide that. Then Ramanuja asked, my dear so-and-so, my dear Shailapurna, I require your servant, your disciple Govinda. Please send him with me. Immediately, Shailapurna called Govinda, his disciple, and told Govinda, please go with the Ramanuja and assist him in his preaching. Govinda came with Ramanuja, reached Kanchipuram, and both of them had darshan of Varadaraja and met Kanchipurna. At the time, Ramanuja said to Kanchipurna, O Mahatma, kindly bless my cousin Govinda, even more devoted to his Guru, and even more merciful to all the living entities. After hearing this, Shailapurna said to Ramanuja, my dear child, whatever you desire, Lord will fulfill your desire. If you bestow your mercy upon anyone, no harm can befall upon anyone. Then Shailapurna noticed Govinda is not very happy, looks like a disturbed person, and he understood the cause of his disturbance and told Ramanuja, my dear Ramanuja, I think Govinda is not happy due to being separated from his spiritual master. It is better to send him back to Shailapurna. Then Ramanuja considered for a while and he called Govinda, my dear Govinda, please return to your spiritual master Shailapurna and render service unto him. Govinda was very excited and he was very happy to receive the order from Ramanuja. Immediately he left Kanchipuram, went to Tirupati. Shailapurna was not very happy when he saw Govinda because he already sent him, but he came back. He was not very happy. He did not talk to him. Even he did not call him for prasadam. Then his wife said, Shailapurna's wife said, my dear husband, okay, you don't talk to Govinda, it's okay, fine. But at least you should invite him for prasadam. Then Shailapurna said to his wife, it's not my duty to feed a horse that has been sold already. He has to take shelter of new master alone. Govinda overheard everything what Shailapurna was speaking to his wife. After hearing this, he left Tirupati, immediately returned to Kanchipuram and said to Ramanuja, my dear Ramanuja, my dear master, henceforth please do not call me as your brother. Today onwards I am your servant. This is the desire of my Guru, Shailapurna. Please accept me as your disciple. Then Ramanuja accepted him as his servant. Then both of them returned to Srirangam. While going to Srirangam, they went to the Grama, the village where his wealthy merchant Ignatia was living. Previously, Ramanuja could not go because he neglected to serve the Vaishnavas. So when Ramanuja understood his intention, he said after visiting Tirupati, while returning to Srirangam, we will visit your place. This was spoken by Ramanuja. Ramanuja committed this to Ignatia. So while returning Srirangam, Ramanuja along with his disciples went to the house of Ignatia, stayed there for a night, and after that reached Srirangam. Then Govinda serving Ramanujacharya very nicely. He was very humble and simple, understood the requirements of his new master Ramanuja, and served Ramanuja in a nice way. All the disciples were struck with wonder the way how Govinda served Ramanuja. After some times, Govinda's mother, Deeptimati, she came from Kanchipuram and addressed to Ramanuja, my dear child. Now Govinda's wife, she came to certain age, mature age, and she is suitable to beget children. Therefore, please send Govinda to his house so that he can live with his wife and beget children. I have told him many times, but he did not obey my order. He did not obey me. Ramanuja called Govinda, my dear Govinda, it's a duty of a householder is to live with family and beget nice children who can become the devotees of Lord. Therefore, I order you, go to your wife. First, purify your mind from the lower modes of material nature. Then live with your wife as a proper householder and beget nice children. This is my order. After receiving the order from Ramanuja, Govinda went to home and stayed for some time. Then again, Deeptimati, his mother, came and reported to Ramanuja. Even now, he has not adopted the way of householder. He is not living with his wife. He must beget a children. Ramanuja called Govinda. My dear Govinda, why? Why you are not begetting children? Why you are not leading the householder's life? Govinda said, my dear master, you instructed me. First of all, purify your mind and live like proper grahastha and beget a children. No, my mind is impure. When I find my mind is pure by serving the lotus feet of Lord, at the time I can think of being a proper householder and becoming a father or begetting a children. Till then I cannot think of becoming a householder or I can beget a children. Although Govinda had a wife like an Apsara, very beautiful, nevertheless, he never had a desire to enjoy her. He said to Ramanuja, since I have not become pure, therefore it's very difficult for me to follow your instructions. Please accept. Then Ramanuja considered for a while and said, my dear Govinda, now it's a proper duty. It's proper for you to accept the path of sannyasa, to accept sannyasa ashrama. Why? Because you have conquered your senses. Govinda did not want to enjoy with his wife, although he had a young wife, was so beautiful, chaste woman, never thought of enjoying with her. He conquered his senses. Therefore, Ramanuja said, now you are fit to become sannyasi. Govinda was excited to hear this word. Then, with his mother's permission, Deeptimati's permission, Ramanuja began sacrifice and gave sannyasa to his cousin Govinda and gave the name called Mananatha. Mananatha means one who has conquered his mind. Many times Ramanuja's disciple would address him Mananatha. Therefore, Govinda was very reluctant to receive such name because this name meant for his guru, means Ramanuja. How can I accept this name? He was reluctant to accept this name. Then understanding, Ramanuja translated this Sanskrit word to Tamil word. Emperu Mananan. That is the meaning of, Tamil meaning of Mananatha. Emperu Mananan. Shortly he was called Ember. Later, when Ramanuja found a monastery in Jagannath Puri, he named the monastery as Ember Mutt in honor of his cousin Govinda. After giving initiation, Ramanuja started preaching to many disciples Srirangam. He constantly started recalling the promise that he made before his guru Ramanujacharya. When the Yamunacharya was lying, he left the body already. Ramanuja took a 3 vow that Yamunacharya could not fulfill. So Ramanuja took the 3 vow. One is to write commentary on Vedanta Sutra. It's called Sri Bhashya. Second is to spread the glories of devotional service, to free the people from illusion. Third is to honor great sage Parashara, who glorified Lord Vishnu in his Vishnu Purana. So he want to name one of the disciples after Parashara. These were the 3 vows that he took before the body of Yamunacharya. One day he called all the disciples and told, see, I have taken 3 vows before the body of Yamunacharya. Till now I have not done anything. Now I want to fulfill the vows that I have taken. Now I want to write Sri Bhashya, commentary on Vedanta Sutra. In order to write Sri Bhashya, I must get Bodhayana Vritti, a commentary given by Bodhayana, great devotee. That is not available anywhere here. I searched everywhere, that scripture. I could not get anywhere. But I heard that one copy is preserved in Sharada Peeth in Kashmir. Therefore, I want to go and get the copy. I want to study. After studying, I want to write Sri Bhashya. I want to take only one disciple with me. That is Kuresha. Kuresha is one of the first disciples of Ramanuja. Then he took Kuresha. He started going to Kashmir. He reached Kashmir and he had a discussion with the local Panditas. The local Panditas were stuck with wonder by hearing the philosophy of Ramanuja. They understood he is a true Vaishnava. Then after that, Ramanuja revealed the purpose for which he had come to Kashmir and said, I have come to Kashmir to get Bodhayana Vritti. I heard that the copy is preserved in the Sharada Peeth. The local Panditas thought, they understood this is a Vaishnava. If you get the copy of this scripture, then you will refute the impersonalism. You will refute the philosophy of impersonalist. So they did not want to show this book to Ramanuja. They said, yes, what you said is true. There was only one copy that was here. But recently, some worms had eaten that book and destroyed it. When Ramanuja heard this, he was very unhappy because he came all the way. It took several months for him to come. He had to walk on foot. So he reached with great difficulty. At last, he could not get the book. Then he went to sleep night. When he was sleeping, Sharada, goddess Sharada, who was none other than Durga, appeared and said, my dear child, please take this book. She gave this Bodhayana Vritti to Ramanuja. Take this book, immediately leave from this place. Ramanuja was surprised. Then took the book. Next day morning, both Kuresha and Ramanuja left Kashmir and started proceeding to Srirangam. After 1 or 2 days, a few days, this local Panditas, they were arranging books in the library in Sharvapet. While arranging the books in the library, they found this Bodhayana Vritti is missing. Then they understood the two Vaishnavas must have taken this book and gone away. Immediately, they left the place, started searching for this Brahmanas, Ramanuja and Kuresha. Somehow, after a few days, they traced and found Ramanuja and Kuresha. They asked, please return the book. The book is missing. I think you must have taken that book. Please give that book. Ramanuja, without any word, took the book and gave it to the people. They took the book and went back to their mata. Again, Ramanuja was very unhappy, because all the endeavor that he made to get the book is lost now. Now he is going to write Sri Bhashya. Kuresha was undisturbed. He was not at all disturbed. He said, my dear master, there is no cause for you to become unhappy. Because whenever you are taking rest during night time, I would take the book and study. Within few days, I by-hearted the entire book. I know everything what is in the book. Therefore, there is no reason for you to become unhappy. If you stay here for few days, I will write everything. The entire book, I will write it. When Ramanuja heard this, he was extremely happy. And he stayed there, and Kuresha wrote everything from his memory. Whatever he read, he wrote entire book of Bodhayana Vritti and gave it to Ramanuja. Ramanuja said, my dear Ramanuja, my dear Kuresha, I am eternally indebted to you for this service. Because Kuresha had such a wonderful memory. Once he hears, once he reads, he will register in his mind. Such a memory he had. He wrote entire book just studying once, reading once. Then after that, both Ramanuja and Kuresha returned to Srirangam, and Ramanuja explained how he went and how the book he got and how he lost, how Kuresha wrote. Everything explained. Devotees are very happy. Then Ramanuja began the commentary on Vedanta Sutra named Sri Bhashya. He completed Sri Bhashya. The book completely refuted the philosophy of impersonalist and established the true philosophy, that is true devotion to Lord Vishnu alone, one can achieve perfection. After writing this book, Ramanuja felt happy that he could fulfill one of the vows that he had taken. Now he is contemplating. He started contemplating on how to fulfill the second vow, that is to spread the glories of Lord Vishnu, devotional service, and free the people from the illusion. Because during that time, Shankara's philosophy was very predominant. Shankaracharya influenced many people. The path of impersonalism. Most of the people were scholars and accepted the philosophy of Shankara, which is impersonalism. Ramanuja wanted to refute this. Then he decided to travel throughout the country to preach the glories of devotional service. And he took 74 chief disciples. First they came to Kanchipuram and offered respect to Varadaraja, took the blessings of Lord Varadaraja. They started preaching. They went to Kumbakonam and met all the great scholars of Kumbakonam, including the king. They presented the philosophy of Vaishnava Sri Bhashya. By hearing the philosophy, wonderful philosophy presented by Ramanuja, explaining everything in detail about devotional service and true philosophy, all the people were completely convinced and captivated to hear from Ramanuja. All of them became devotees of Lord Vishnu and accept the path of devotional service. They became devotees of Lord Narayana. Everyone took initiation from Ramanuja. Then Ramanuja, with other disciples, they went to Madurai and stayed for some time. They converted all the local peoples into the path of Vaishnavas, path of devotional service. Then Ramanuja went to Kerala, Trivandrum. They had darshan of Ananta Padmanabha. Then went to Dwaraka. then went to Mathura, Vrindavan, and Batrikashrama, Pushkar. Then finally they reached Kashmir, where Ramanuja previously had gone to get the copy of Bodhayana Vritti. There he had a debate with the scholars. The local scholars, they thought, because they are all Mayavadis, they understood they'll be defeated. And they don't want to get defeated. And they finally, because these people were very expert in black magic art, they started chanting different mantras to kill Ramanuja. So when they were chanting mantras to kill Ramanuja, since he was a pure devotee, no mantras affected him. Rather, that spell, what they chanted the mantra, it went back and attacked those Brahmanas who chanted the Vedic mantras. Not Vedic mantras, that magic spell, tantric mantra. Because generally the black magic art is, when does not attack the aimed person, it will come back to the person who chanted, who used that art. So all the Brahmanas were deadly, practically they had got afflicted with a deadly disease and they were about to die. This news reached King of Kashmir. Then the king came and fell at the feet of Ramanuja and asked Ramanuja, my dear so-and-so, please forgive the sinful Brahmanas. Ramanuja accepted. Then all the Brahmanas became free from the disease and all of them accepted Ramanuja as their guru and accepted the path of devotional service. Then Ramanuja went to Benares, Kashi and stayed there and converted many people to become Vaishnavas, and he came to Jagannath Puri. There he founded the monastery and he named the monastery as Embermet in honor of his cousin Govinda. There Ramanuja saw the worship of Lord Jagannatha. Ramanuja knew Jagannatha was none other than Lord Vishnu. But the way the Pandas, they worshipped Jagannatha is not up to the mark, not at all good. Because they are low class people, they did not worship according to Pancharatrika Vidhi. Therefore, you want to worship Lord Jagannatha according to Pancharatrika Vidhi. Since Ramanuja's name spread throughout the country, Ramanuja's philosophy and his devotion influenced even the king of Orissa. Once he wanted to meet king and proposed the system of new method of worship, how to worship Lord Jagannath. Because the king had a lot of respect for Ramanuja, being a great saint, great personality, he accepted, but the Pandas were not ready to accept. Ramanuja said to the king that so-and-so date I'll come and please arrange, we'll change the method of worship. So all the Brahmanas pray to Lord Jagannath because they don't want to change the worship, otherwise they will lose the service. They are the Brahmanas, the servants of Lord Jagannatha were very much attached to Jagannatha to worship in a different way as worshipped by Sabara, who I think Vishwavasu. Then Lord Jagannath accepted the prayers of his servants. Then when he was sleeping, Ramanuja was sleeping, Jagannatha took Ramanuja with the help of Garuda and put him in Kurmakshetra. Next day when Ramanuja got up, he saw he was in Kurmakshetra. Then he understood Lord Jagannatha did not want to change the method of worship. Then he asked some people, is there any deity is there? They all said there is a deity of Kurma. Then he went to Kurmakshetra, worshipped Lord Kurma there. And while at the time all the disciples of Ramanuja who were in Jagannath Puri, they came to Kurmakshetra, all of them reunited in Kurmakshetra. So Ramanuja and all his disciples started coming towards Srirangam. They went to Tirupati. They had darshan of Lord Balaji. At the time there was a great controversy arose between the Saivist, worshipper of Lord Shiva and worshipper of Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavas. The worshipper of Shiva claimed that this Srinivasa deity is Shiva deity. The Vaishnavas claimed that deity is Lord Vishnu deity. So then Ramanuja settled this issue by reciting various verses from the revealed scripture, proving that deity is none other than Lord Vishnu. Then everyone accepted Lord Vishnu. They started worshipping Srinivasa. Then Ramanuja returned to Srirangam. Then after he fulfilled the second vow that he took in front of the body, before the body of Ramanujacharya, there the Kuresha was the first disciple of Ramanuja. He was living in the place called, in Kanchipuram, there was a village called Kura. He is coming from the family of rich Brahmana, wealthy Brahmana. He owned the entire village, Kura village. Because he was the owner of the entire village called Kura, he became Kuresha, Kura Isha, the owner or the controller of the entire village, Kura. He was very wealthy. Even when he was very young, he had a lot of attraction for Ramanuja by seeing his personality. When he came to, he had a beautiful wife, Andal, her name is Andal. When he came to know Ramanuja took sannyasa, immediately went to Ramanuja and begged. He and his wife were the first disciples of Ramanuja, first couple that took the initiation. And Kuresha was so great, so generous. His door, his gate, house gate was always open from morning 6 o'clock to midnight. Any poor man would come and ask charity and would get for everything, jewels or wealth, cows, whatever a Brahmana or any poor man come and ask, you would get everything. One day, he was closing the gate because it became late night. In Kanchipuram, Mahalakshmi could hear the sound. At the time, Lakshmi asked Kanchipurna, what is the sound I am hearing? At the time, Kanchipurna said to Lakshmi Devi that Kuresha is so exalted, so magnanimous. His gate is open from morning to midnight, and anyone who goes for charity, you get whatever he wanted. Now it's a time to go to take rest. Therefore, he is closing the gate. Lakshmi was very happy to hear and told Kanchipurna, I want to see this devotee, please bring him tomorrow. So next day when Kanchipurna met Kuresha and said, Lakshmi Devi told me to bring you to temple tomorrow. She wants to see you. He was excited. Kuresha was excited to hear this. Actually, I am low class person. I am not at all a devotee. Lakshmi is served by even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. Such a exalted personality, Lakshmi Devi. And I am lower than Chandala. It is said that Chandala cannot enter to temple. I am lower than the Chandala. Because of having so much wealth, opulence, I become contaminated. How can I come and show my face to goddess of fortune? No, I cannot show this contaminated face to goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. Therefore, first I want to go and take shelter of Ramanuja. In his association, I may become purified. After I become purified, I will come and have darshan of Lakshmi Devi. Then he went home and gave up his all wealth, everything, except a simple cloth. He and his wife, both of them, left Kanchipuram, left all the properties, reached Srirangam, and Ramanuja received them and gave them shelter, gave them some house to stay, and both of them would stay. Kuresha, he would go out every day and beg something, and would come in the afternoon and give to his wife Andal. She would cook and offer to Lord and give prasad. Although Kuresha was such an exalted person, such a wealthy person who would give charity like anything, he gave up everything and accepted the way of like a beggar, simply depending upon the Lord, go and ask some food from people. One day there was heavy rain. He could not go out to beg. Although he didn't have any food, Kuresha was undisturbed. He was always absorbed in chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. Whereas his wife saw her husband without food, she did not feel anything for herself, but she wanted to feed her husband. That's her duty. By seeing her husband, then she prayed to Lord Jagannatha. Ranganatha. Oh Lord Ranganatha, please provide something to her devotee. Then immediately there was knock at the door. Kuresha went to open the door. Pujari, head priest, brought a plate filled with opulent prasadam and said, "This is Mahaprasadam of Lord Ranganatha, please accept." Then Kuresha called his wife, asked, "Did you pray to Lord Ranganatha to provide food?" She confessed, "Yes." He scolded her. It's not our duty, it's not our business to make Lord as our servant. It's our duty to serve the Lord. Please do not do this kind of mistake henceforth. Whatever happened is happened. Henceforth, please remember, never ask anything from Lord. It's our duty only to render service unto Lord. So she also accepted. Henceforth, she never asked anything from the Lord to provide their maintenance. Whatever they would get, they get. After a year, Andal gave birth to twins. Kuresha's wife, she gave birth to twins. When Ramanuja heard this, he was completely happy, excited, and immediately sent Govinda to perform birth ceremony. After a few months, Ramanuja gave the name to the two children, twins of Kuresha, as Parashara and Vyasa. In this way, Ramanuja took the 3 vows before the body of Ramanujacharya. He fulfilled. This Parashara and Kuresha grew up well, and Parashara was very, very good, and he had a good memory, all the good qualities. He was 5-year-old boy. Parashara was a 5-year-old boy. At the time, there was one great Pandita, Digvijay Pandita. He conquered all the scholars everywhere. He and along with his disciples were walking in Srirangam, and the disciples started beating the drums and they started saying, there is an unrivaled scholar named Sarvajna who knows everything. If anyone wants to become his disciple, please immediately come and take shelter of his lotus feet. Please come, take shelter of the feet of Sarvajna without delay. After hearing this, the small boy, Parashara, 5-year-old boy, he took some dust and came to Sarvajna and said to Sarvajna, if you are truly Sarvajna, let me see whether you are able to tell how many dust particles are in my hand. This Sarvajna was bewildered by this question of Parashara. He understood this boy's wisdom. The moment he heard this thing from the small boy, was shattered. He thought he was a very big scholar. Now it was smashed by the small boy. Then he took the boy on the lap and started kissing him and said to Parashara, my dear boy, my dear child, today onwards you are my guru. I was puffed up due to my false scholarship. You destroyed that. I know some shastras little bit, but I was blinded by the so-called scholarship that I acquired. So he gave the scholarship and he accepted the path of devotion. Although Parashara was 5-year-old boy, still he could influence great personalities. Then after this, Ramanuja, when he grew up, Parashara grew up, Ramanuja ordered Parashara to get married, the girl coming in the family of Mahapurna, his guru. He also got married. Later, after Ramanuja left the world, Parashara became the Acharya of the Srirangamata. That was his exalted position. After this incident, one day, There was a great celebration was taking place in Srirangam. Lord Ranganatha's Utsava deity was carried in the procession. People were playing musical instrument and the elephants were decorated with the tilak, and they were walking majestically, and many people were singing, dancing. The entire atmosphere was just charged by devotional feeling, ecstasy. So when these things are going on, everyone was completely absorbed in rendering service unto the deity. Thousands and thousands of people gathered in Srirangam to witness this procession. There was one person called Dasa. He was a wrestler. He was holding one umbrella over the head of a prostitute. It's high class prostitute named Hemamba, to prevent sun rays falling upon her, to shield her from sun rays. And he was constantly gazing at her eyes. And she was going front, and he was holding and walking backward because he wanted to look at the eyes of this Hemamba. And he totally forgot about what's going on. Everyone was absorbed in the devotional service, chanting, singing, playing musical instrument. Everyone was absorbed in the festival mood. But this one person, without seeing anything what is going on, simply was looking at the eyes of this Hemamba and walking. And Ramanuja took in the Kaveri, bath in the Kaveri river, and he was going to ashrama. He saw this person. What's a mad person? People are completely absorbed in devotional service. This person is taking an umbrella and looking at the face of this woman, and without any shame is going like this. He told his disabled Dasharati, go and find out who is this person, inquire from him, ask him to meet me. Then Dasharati went and started touching at his shoulder to get his attention. He tried to call him. He did not look back. He touched, still he could not look back because he was constantly absorbed in looking at the eyes of this woman. And finally started shaking him. He was disturbed. Just like somebody is in a deep sleep, somebody go and shake him up, or will get up and disturbed. Like that, this person was disturbed and look at Dasarathi. And he was a Brahmana. He respected, oh Brahmana, please tell me, what can I do for you? Then Dasarathi said, Ramanuja, he wanted to meet you. He wanted to meet you. Can you kindly come to his ashrama? He had a lot of respect for Ramanuja. Who? Dasarathi. This Dasa. He heard about Ramanuja. He's a great scholar. His name and his fame spreaded everywhere. So he wanted to meet Ramanuja. He came to Ramanuja and, oh great soul, please tell me what can I do for you. And Ramanuja asked, what's your name? He said, my name is Dasa. He said, I am a wrestler. Okay. Don't have shame. The people all are absorbed in the chanting and dancing, absorbed in devotional service of Lord. Without any shame. You are walking, looking at the face of the woman. You have simply become the object of laughing stock in the eyes of the common public by acting this way. Don't have any shame. The person said, my dear sir, I have seen many eyes, but no eyes can match Hemamba's eyes. So beautiful, so attractive. I am completely captivated by the beautiful eyes of Hemamba. When I look at the beautiful eyes of Hemamba, I cannot think of turning my attention to anywhere. After hearing this, Ramanuja asked, is she your wife? Said, no. Although she is not my wife, but I love her too much. I will not look at any other woman other than my Hemamba. After hearing this, Ramanuja asked, okay, if I show you the beautiful eyes which are superior to this woman, will you give up this woman, accept that person? Yes, of course. If I see anyone's eyes, beautiful eyes, then my Hemamba, naturally I'll give up Hemamba and accept that woman. Okay, You come to my ashrama. Tomorrow, I'll solve this issue, solve this problem. Then next day, this person, Dhanurdasa, went to ashrama of Ramanuja. Ramanuja took Dhanurdasa to Ranganatha temple. All the gates they passed. Finally, went in front of altar of Ranganatha. The puja arati time started. Pujari started doing arati. Then he made some light camphor lamp and started showing it to leg and brought to the eyes. So when he showed that a lamp to near the eyes of Lord, when he was doing offering to Lord, Dhanurdasa saw the beautiful eyes of Lord Ranganatha. Tears started flowing from his eyes. Tears started flowing from his eyes. And he gave up all the attraction for this Hemamba, just like when the sun rises, all the stars will vanish. Similarly, the attraction for Hemamba is like just an attraction for the stars. When he saw the beautiful eyes of Lord Ranganatha, and he felt ecstasy, devotional ecstasy. Then he fell down. Then after that, he regained his consciousness and said to Ramanuja, "My dear master, you opened my darkened eyes. You opened my darkened eyes. I was lusty after woman. Now I understood that I made a mistake. You brought me to the real position as an eternal servant of Lord Narayana. You are my life and soul. You are my master. Please accept me as your disciple." He fell at the feet of Ramanuja and begged initiation. Ramanuja was very happy. Then he accepted Dhanurdasa as his disciple. This news reached Hemamba. Hemamba was a high-class prostitute. Although she was a high-class prostitute, nevertheless she was a devotee of the Lord. She always would chant the glories of the Lord. When she heard that Dhanurdasa, although he was not her husband, nevertheless she considered Dhanurdasa as her husband. She also came to Ramanuja and fell at the feet of Ramanuja and surrendered her life to Ramanuja and accepted Ramanuja as his spiritual master. Then Ramanuja duly got them married, both Dhanurdasa and Hemamba, and both of them were accommodated in Srirangam next to Ramanuja's house, his ashrama. Both of them would come and hear from Ramanuja every day. They were leading a happy life. Dhanurdasa, he was very simple, humble, and he was serving Ramanuja in a humble manner. Although he was Shudra, but he excelled in serving his guru. Then other so-called Brahmanas, Brahmana disciples. Ramanuja wanted to prove the behavior of Vaishnava to others. What should be the behavior of Vaishnava? Whether birth or the qualities. When Ramanuja would enter into the Kaveri river to take dip, he would take support of Dasharthi, who was Brahmana by birth. And after taking bath, when he come to the bank, he would take the support of by touching the body of Dhanurdasa, who would come to the bank. This was noticed by the Brahmana disciples of Ramanuja. They were not happy that Ramanuja was touching the body of Shudra, because Dhanurdasa was Shudra. They did not show any kind of things. They started criticizing Ramanuja mentally. How we can do this by touching the body of Brahmana? It's a pure Vaishnava, pure Brahmana. He should not have touched the body of Shudra. So Ramanuja understand this misconception of his disciples. Then he wanted to teach him one lesson. So one day they were sleeping, all of them. Midnight, Ramanuja got up and went and tore the dhotis of this Brahmana disciples. Midnight, he tore the dhotis of Brahmana disciples, came and slept. Next day, the disciples, Brahmana disciples, got up and went to take the cloth, dhoti. They saw the dhotis were torn. They started fighting, quarreling among themselves, using harsh words, started accusing one another. It was a big mess. Ramanuja came and stopped and somehow settled the issue. So next day, he called all the disciples for class. They came, the Brahmana disciples came, Ramanuja addressed the Brahmana disciples. I think you must have been observing Dasa for quite a period of time. Actually, he is very much attached to opulent life, wealth, and woman. And externally, he is showing like a great devotee. Now, we want to see his true color. Therefore, when he comes tomorrow for hearing the class, you go to his house and loot away all the wealth. Whatever is there, jewels, you steal everything. Then we'll come to know his true face. So this Brahmana disciples were very happy. Yeah. Yes, master, we'll go. Then Dasa came to hear. Ramanuja gave signal to go and loot. This Brahmanas went to Dasa's house. His wife Hemamba was sleeping. And these people, since the door was open, they entered without any difficulty, entered the house. And they were talking. We have to loot this, we have to loot this. From their talk, Hemamba was not sleeping, she was lying. She could understand, actually these are the Brahmanas. Due to extreme poverty, they have adopted the way of thieves. Therefore, let them take whatever they want. Let me sleep. So she appeared like a sleeping, and the Brahmanas came and took whatever they want, and finally they saw she was wearing gold bangles, gold earring, and took everything. One side of the hand, she was lying like this. Other hand, one hand they took bangles and earrings. And she thought, okay, let me turn this side so that they can take from this hand also. This hand, bangles and this earring also they can take so that they can be happy. When she turned the other side, the people were frightened. They thought she has gotten up, will be caught. They ran away. So whatever they took, that they ran away. They went to Ramanuja and explained everything. Then he told Dasa. Ramanuja was holding Dasa till they came back. This Brahmanas. So then after that, Ramanuja told Dasa, my dear Dasa, you can go to home. So he sent him. Then he told, no, please follow and go to the house and see how he reacts. Because he'll naturally get upset. And his wife also must have suffered. He cannot tolerate, just to go and see. So Dasa went home, and this Brahman also reached, and they were seeing from the window what's conversations taking place. Then Dasa, as soon as he went and saw his wife, like peculiar thing, she was wearing only one earring, one bangle, and asked her, my dear Hemamba, what is this? Why only one side you are wearing, one bangle, one earring? What happened to you? Then she said, actually when you are not here, the Brahmanas came. Actually because of poverty, they have adopted the ways of thieves. So when I was sleeping, they thought I was in deep sleep. Therefore, they took whatever jewels were there and they removed one hand bangle, one earring. And I want to turn this side so that they can take other things also. They are frightened and ran away. So after hearing this, Dasa blasted his wife. I don't know when you are going to become free from illusion. Still you are thinking that jewels belongs to you. That jewels belongs to you. You are thinking, my jewelry, I want to give them to Brahmanas. I don't know when you are going to come out of this illusion. If you remain silent, then the Brahmanas would have taken away this also. They would have been happy. Now you messed up everything. She also felt, yes. I don't know when I am going to become free from illusion. Please bless me so that I can quickly come out of illusion. This Brahmanas heard everything about how Dasa and his wife completely detached from all the material things. They came and reported to Ramanuja. The Ramanuja said, okay, come tomorrow morning. We'll discuss. Next day morning, they came, all the Brahmanas. Ramanuja asked, now you tell me truly, who is a Brahmana? Whether Dasa or yours? Just imagine yesterday morning, when you found when your dhotis were torn, how you started quarreling among yourself. And you saw how Dhanurdasa reacted when all the jewels were stolen. You tell me, who's proper Vaishnava, who's a proper Brahmana, who's befitting, whose nature, whose behavior is befitting a Brahmana? Then all the Brahman disciples put their head in shame and said, no, Dhanurdasa only. Our behavior is most abominable. Then Ramanuja said to them, it is not birth that makes one a Brahmana. It is behavior, it is qualities that makes one a Brahmana. So please give up your false pride in taking birth in the family of Brahmanas. Endeavor to serve Lord Narayana. That is the only way one can achieve perfection. In this way, Ramanuja instructed the Brahmanas. After this instance, Ramanuja heard from people that Mahaprabhu, his guru, transgressed the etiquette. What is that? He cremated the body of the Shudra. As a result of doing this, all the community members rejected Mahaprabhu. Even own friends and relatives rejected Mahaprabhu for cremating the body of Shudra. When Ramanuja heard this, he came to the house of his guru, Mahaprabhu, and asked, my dear master, what is the reason? Why did you do this? Then he said, Mahaprabhu said, yes, it is true that one should not do this according to Dharma Shastra. But what is real Dharma? The real Dharma is to follow the path of Mahajana. Mahajana Katasa Panta. You see the Lord, the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Ramachandra. He performed the final ritual to a bird, Jatayu. King Yudhishthira, exalted devotee of Lord Krishna, he worshipped Shudra, Vidura. He worshipped Vidura, who is a Shudra. They all did this. I am simply following them. What's wrong in it? The person who I did cremation is not ordinary soul. It's a devotee of Lord Narayana. It's a great soul. Even I feel fortunate to have rendered some service unto a great soul. So one's devotion is important, not the birth or caste or creed. After hearing this from Mahaprabhu, Ramanuja was very excited, very happy, and asked apology from Mahaprabhu for asking this question. And one day, Goshtipurna is one more preceptor, one more disciple of Ramanujacharya, was completely absorbed in meditation. Throughout the day, he did not speak, was absorbed in meditation. At the end of the day, Ramanuja noticed and asked, my dear master, which form of the Lord you have been meditating upon? And by which mantra you worship the Lord? Goshtipurna said, I worship the lotus feet of my Guru, Ramanujacharya. Only his name is the holy mantra. I do not know anything other than this. When Ramanuja heard this from Goshtipurna, he understood how important to worship the devotees of Lord Narayana. This was going on. The Srirangam belonged to, actually it come under the control of Chola kingdom. The Chola kingdom was ruled by King Kolutunga. Although the kings of Chola were devotees of Lord Vishnu during the time of Ramanujacharya. But this Kolutunga later, he became the very strong devotee of Lord Shiva. Very strong devotee of Lord Shiva. Great devotee of Lord Shiva. And became the enemies of Vaishnavas. He did not like anyone who worshipped Lord Vishnu. He wanted the supremacy of Lord Shiva to be established. Therefore, he told all the Vaishnavas, give the worship of Lord Vishnu, accept Lord Shiva as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vaishnavas rejected. They could not abandon their worship to Lord Vishnu. So then Kolutunga heard about Ramanuja. Ramanuja was a great devotee and he has got a lot of influence over the followers. If we accept the path of Saivist, means worshipper of Lord Shiva, then all the people naturally become worshipper of Lord Shiva. There is no need to convert individually all the people. If he does not accept, then I'll kill him. In this way, I'll establish my supremacy. So, having this in his mind, he sent his messenger to Srirangam to bring Ramanuja and his Guru Mahapurna to Kanchipuram. His Kolutunga's men came to Srirangam, and Kuresha understood the evil things that what Kolutunga was contemplating, for what purpose he sent these two people. Then he went to Ramanuja and said, "My dear master, please do not go. If you go, they'll put end to your life. You must be alive. You must preach the glories of Lord. All the fallen souls can benefit by your presence. Therefore, please do not go. I'll go in your place. You take my cloth, Grasta white cloth. I'll accept your saffron cloth." Then he removed his cloth and gave to Ramanuja, took Ramanuja cloth, and he prepared to leave to Kanchipuram. Then Ramanuja accepted the white cloth and escaped from Srirangam. He wanted to, without telling anyone, he went to forest, silently, secretly. Then Kuresha and Mahapurna, both of them reached Kanchipuram, and the king received both. The king thought Kuresha is a Ramanuja. He received them and gave the accommodation, everything. Next day, he invited them to coach. Then the Kolutunga said, "Oh, saintly people, no, I want to understand about the duties of a common people. What's the most important duty of a man like us?" Then Kuresha said, "Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a savior, is the master of everyone. Therefore, whatever position one may have, he must worship Lord Vishnu, Narayana with love and devotion. This is the highest duty. This is topmost duty." After hearing this, Kolutunga became very angry. He started blasting Kuresha and Mahapurna. "And you simply worship Lord Vishnu, rejecting the supremacy of Lord Shiva. No, you should worship Lord Vishnu. You should stop worshipping Lord Vishnu, accept Lord Shiva." He brought all the scholars of Saivist. "No, you have conversation with them. You must accept their teaching. They've understood the conclusion of the Shastras. They know what is the essence of Shastras. Please have a conversation with the Panditas." The so-called Panditas, the so-called Brahmanas, started presenting some philosophy establishing Lord Shiva's Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kuresha no time defeated their philosophy, nullified every statement. After this, the King Kolutunga became very angry. He was very angry. "Whatever it may be, whether you defeated or not defeated, I don't mind. You must stop worshipping Lord Vishnu, accept Lord Shiva as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you do not do, tomorrow you will not see sunrise." He rejected. Kuresha rejected. "No, we will not. We will not give up the worship of Lord Vishnu." Then he became even more very angry. He started presenting the philosophy. Kolutunga was insulted. He felt insulted. Then immediately called his men, "Take these two people and pluck their eyes. Pluck their eyes out. Give them all kinds of torture and remove their eyes. Ramanuja deserved to die. But because he saved my sister in the past, Ramanuja saved the princess of Kanchipuram at the time when he was young. Although they deserved to die, because he saved my sister, just to remove their eyes and leave them." The king's man came and gave all kinds of tortures to Mahapurna and Kuresha. Kuresha was praying to Lord, "O Lord, you have bestowed your mercy upon me by serving my spiritual master. My spiritual master is supposed to get this. On behalf of him, I am getting this. You are so glorious. he offered obeisance to Lord Vishnu for getting this kind of punishment. Then finally these people, after giving all kinds of torture, they plucked the eyes from Kuresha and Mahapurna. Mahapurna was very old actually. When they removed the eyes, extreme pain for Mahapurna. He was very old, very weak. Kuresha was undisturbed and he prayed to Lord, and he said to the tormentors who removed their eyes, may Lord